I mean, we don't want to be in trouble, period, right? But when the feds come, a whole different ball game, B. The NBA, this was shocking news. They got rocked by all of this headlines. I mean, we were supposed to be focused on opening night, Wemby's performance, Cooper Flag's debut. The NBA's back, right? And then these headlines hit, and it's just like, wow. The Terry Rozier thing, he already been here before, right? He's already been investigated by the NBA. I believe they dismissed it though. They let him continue to play. They was like, all right, we cool on you. We know what that was. Though we're even gonna look at that footage again. As far as Chauncey Billups, wow. As far as the illegal poker that's being alleged, wow. The inside information being given from players and or coaches or assistants or inside people, wow. This will have a lot of legs. You got the hanger-ons. You have the snitches. We're gonna talk allegedly about some of that coming up. You have all the coercion and it's a lot, man. You just don't look at something like this, see three people or four or five people's names in the headlines and think it stops there. This is going to continue to grow. You're going to hear more names. I'm already scrolling Instagram. I see things like look at this game right here where LeBron looks like he's disconnected. You're going to see a lot of bullshit as well. But the accusations and the deeper look into things, and you know the internet, you know they are the best detectives in the world at this point, right? Last but not least, before we get moving, I want to say this as far as the main topic, the little intro here. I just read this statement from Shaq while he was on TV addressing this. He says, I know Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones very well. I'm ashamed that those guys would put their families and careers in jeopardy. If you're making $9 million a year, how much more do you need? That's the only piece I didn't mention in this intro yet, the mafia element, right? Is it that I'm greedy? Am I being forced? Is people above me or around me threatening? You just never know with shit like this. We was talking about the mafia last week as well, right? They say they're still around. They can't operate the way they used to, but it is what it is, right? All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Let's start to walk through some of this news. Up first, before we get to the title, let's bring Kevin McCall back up. Yeah, you thought he was done with Kevin, man. TMZ caught up with him. So had a pretty awkward interview real quick with them, but let's take a look.
So I know Chris kind of threw a little jab. You know, Chris Brown, Chris Breezy, kind of threw a jab.
You know who the fuck she said the first time. As soon as you hear Chris, very distinctive, you heard that shit.
You know, saying what's funnier, a troll or a broke one. Ouch. You know, when you saw that or heard about that.
Well, don't stand with your head tilted like that. yeah, I'm doing it like this at this point because I don't fuck with him. Yeah. Y'all know I would let him rock and just get the whole interview off and just give a take, right? But nah, I don't fuck with him. So that chain, is that chain real? I mean, EBT diamond chains. If I want EBT and I got a real diamond chain, that shit is getting point. And both ears is glistening too, huh? Okay. Shout out to you.
What went through your mind? I mean,
what went through my mind? All that bullshit's for the birds, and you ain't nothing but a vulture. That's what went through my mind.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, why does Chris owe you the $25K? I guess that's what everyone's asking right now.
I didn't even know. That's why I sold my catalog. When I was going to prison and stuff, I thought it'd give me some money to see my daughters. It helped me from going to prison. It still didn't work. I still did 3 years. But I owe them. It says I owe them 4 songs. Even though I recouped off the first song, Deuces, they said I still have to owe the songs. I got all the songs done, and now they're saying Chris has to sign off. And I have all the emails, so.
Now, isn't that interesting? I always said in his defense, we don't have the contracts in front of us. We don't know the actual business dealings between him and Chris. But he's talking about a deal where he supposedly still owes music. Now, when you sign on to these production or these co-writing, we hear shit like this before, right? Max B and Jim Jones, I feel like, has something that aligns with this, right? Max B's on camera talking about, I don't know what he's talking about. I gave him all his music. He's got hard drives and hard drives full of hooks and songs and whatnot that I gave to him. I'm done. I gave him everything that he needs. I don't know if Jim would sing the same tune. Now, could be some personal shit mixed in there as well with Chris and all this type of stuff. That beef, and all different. But this guy right here, now you're talking about that $25,000 is related to you possibly having something restricted for your deal. Interesting. Meanwhile, you got videos that they're bringing back to the surface of you talking about how you blew $8 million and your first check that was 6 figures. You didn't know what to do. Interesting.
If somebody's lying on my brother, man, I apologize. I don't really apologize about nothing. You better tell them to apologize, brother. But all that thinking people is too rich to talk to people just because I sleep on my granny couch, I'm still a man first.
Okay. I know.
Granny couch, diamond chain.
Oh, so I know Thug offered you the $25K to pay whatever Chris owes you. Will you accept?
Whoop-de-doo.
Ain't no ability to accept. He took it off the table. So you throw your whoop-de-doo shot all you want.
No, I'm just playing. Like, I mean, I don't really want no charity. That was a great gesture.
Yeah.
I never met Thug, so I would have loved if he really wanted to reach out. He could have DM'd me and gave me his number, and I did all the public stuff. But I accept the gesture. But if you want to work, I'm cool with working. You know what I'm saying? I got some fire for you. We both Leos.
That would be
so
cool.
You already know that line, and you know what time it is. So I'm a Thugger fan, but yeah, I don't want nobody money. I already earned the $25K. So CB run that, or whoever you up under, had him run that. And matter of fact, have him run it.
Okay. I mean, would you ever talk to Chris, make amends with this, maybe have a conversation, sit down with him?
You got to ask him.
Would.
He don't even say my name.
Yeah, you're damn right you would. If you're sleeping on your grandmother's couch and you swipe an EBT card, you're damn right you would have a conversation with I don't doubt that 1 second.
He acts like I don't exist, but
yeah.
I stay in Inglewood right now. Sometimes, when the girl ain't tripping about me not being her boyfriend. But anyway, see, I tell too much. I'm too rich.
Yeah, you do. You went from grandmother to EBT. Now you're talking about somebody that's take care of you when the tax returns come in, when she's not tripping. Yo, and maybe I shouldn't be laughing as much because this is kind of like borderline homeless that you're telling us, right? Like if your grandmother trips or if this girl trips, you have nowhere to stay, buddy. Like, and the way that you went about this, your whole come out party to this, it makes me think like even back to like 2015, 16ish or whatever, when we started seeing the Vlad interviews, you was fucked up then. You went about this all wrong, buddy. You got to look in the mirrors a little bit. And I'm not just talking about the business side. I'm also talking about how people fuck with you after the fact. Nobody has any sympathy for you. Why is that?
Yeah, you really are.
I'm transparent. I'm an open book. But as I'm standing in Inglewood, all I hear is the Breezy Bowl at the SoFi, and all I hear is KKKKK mad. Don't you be in them, yeah. So it's just like
that
no matter what happens, I know I'm him.
Okay.
You can know you him or the fuck you want. There's a lot of hymns that's in places that they don't deserve to be, and there's a lot of hymns laying on their grandmother's couches. And you're doing all these interviews now, giving up little sound bites of you singing. That's all dope. And if the young thugs of the world reach out to you and say, fuck it, let's get some work, I'll pay you $25,000, go ahead and write a hook and co-produce a song or something like that. Great for you. In your words, whoop-de-doo. But at the same time, buddy, like you talking about how talented you are you blackballing yourself, even with all of this talk? You're going to make it to the point where if somebody even wants to work with you, it's a bad look. Like you don't want that popping up on your mixtape, on your EP, on your album, featuring, co-written, co-produced by Kevin McCall. That looks like you're drowning yourself. This should be your last joint. Shut the fuck up. That's real. I'm not even trying to be on his heels right now. That's real nigga advice. Shut the fuck up at this point. You're blackballing yourself as far as people looking at you like, nah, I'm good.
No, okay. So there could be, it just depends. Chris has to reach out first, is what you're saying. It just depends.
I'll work with anybody.
That ain't gonna happen.
I have no enemies except for Satan.
Okay.
And maybe like these gray hairs that's trying to come in. But other than that, I'm feeling good.
Okay, good.
And I'm just ready for them to hear the music because my daughters love music, and I'm gonna make the music for them to like.
Okay. I wasn't gonna say anything after the mention of his daughters anyway. Moving right along. Ladies, you know what? And fellas, I gotta see how y'all feel about this one. Here for it? Question mark. Moneybag Yo and G Herbo have a song on the way. What's the caption say? Looks like Moneybag Yo and G Herbo are working together. Socialites. Are we here for this collab? Let's see the little preview.
I already know 100 mil on the way, so I'm thinking I lie in advance. You niggas ain't killers, just rapping that. Niggas really my speakers are fans. 11 some hours to pick up again, just came from a show in Japan. Like the National Guard, this movement laws, you hear nigga feet on land. I be taxing you fuck niggas just like Uncle Sam. Bad land, bad roads, and bad luck land.
Songs sound kind of tough. I ain't gonna lie. I'm here for it musically, but what's the first thought that really comes to mind, people? It's not even the elephant in the room. It's what we all think is the real reason why they did this song. I'm looking at the chat. No, yes, no. It's not just me. I know that because I looked at some of these comments going around social media yesterday. Why? All right. So one of them is Ari's baby mother. The other one is her current man. Let me go over here. I'm all for being a secure man. I'm all for being a confident man. I'm all for multiple families, so to speak, being able to be on a certain accord so that family functions and family energy can get along and do the right thing, right? I'm all for all of that. But do you need to put each other in that spot? Do you need to put her in that spot? Now, I don't know how she is. I've seen videos of her. I get a small read on her personality. Is she comfortable with this? Ladies, would you be comfortable with this? With the mother of your child and your current man like this doing songs and features together and possibly God shucking it up and all that. Are you comfortable or are you turned out by like, yeah, I got both of them niggas out there and they cool. Which one, what type of woman are you? Because me personally, now I can speak for myself as a man. If I'm in either scenario, if I'm the baby father, I don't need to be doing a fucking song with her current man. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm her current man, I don't need to be hanging out with her baby father. Like, once again, it's not about insecurity. Like, imagine your money bag, yo, in this situation. I'm doing music with the man that could tell me every intimate personal detail about my current wife, fiance, girlfriend. Why do I need to share that? A love marriage, a love relationship is supposed to be sacred. That energy is automatically split when they're around each other, whether they know that, they feel that shit. Why do I need to share that? It's like the guys that chase after the women that have already been with 50 people that they know, and vice versa. The same thing goes for the women. Like, why share that? Because the utmost vibe between us, it feels like we got something that I couldn't create with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why I'm with you is because it works out with me and you. Not it didn't work with other people, right? Why share this shit? Why share it? He can tell you all her beauty marks and all this type of shit. Like, what's the point? Now, I ain't gonna speak for the ladies. I'll let y'all speak for yourselves. But last but not least, I think that is once again a cool thing to have people around each other that need to be around each other for the sanctity of, like, let's say the children or the family. But that's where the sharing to me stops. Okay, the kid has a father. I'm not the biological. We'll talk about birthdays, Thanksgivings, or Christmases, maybe even cookouts or whatever, where maybe we're around each other, or you understand that the child is going to be with this person on this day or whatever. Why do the two men need to pair up outside of the child and the woman, though? Why do the two men need to do that? I know for sure there's got to be some women in this chat that would be uncomfortable. Like, what the fuck are them niggas out there doing and talking about? Maybe it's just me. If it's just me, cool. But I ain't doing no fucking song with you. That's cool. Y'all got it. All right, another one. Moving on. So this yesterday, shout out to Checks and Balances. Wait, what? speaking of mafia shit coming up in a second, right? Wow.
Come clean about his secret past as a government informant. CBS 2's Dave Carlin tells us the activist admitted to helping the FBI bring down some of New York's most wanted.
I was not and am not a rat.
The Reverend Al Sharpton identified as confidential informant CI7, now admitting he wore a wire for the FBI. He helped the government go after boxing promoter Don King, music executives, and mobsters, including Vincent the Chin Gigante, who famously wore his robe and pajamas in public.
I was cooperating.
Sources say that cooperation likely started after he was nabbed in a drug sting, caught on video. Helping the feds may have helped him. But Sharpton says he went to them because members of the mob wanted him dead.
They were threatening to kill me.
Sharpton is kicking off his National Action Network convention this week with headliners President Obama and Mayor de Blasio, who defended Sharpton.
I think he has done a lot of good for the city of New York and for this country.
Retired NYPD Detective Sergeant Joseph Jackalone says unmasking any confidential informant troubles him.
You never want this because we need people to help cooperate. So this is an unfortunate incident.
Sharpton said he has no regrets. He'd do it all again.
Has come clean about his.
No, he's got no regrets. Yo, your man said, I am not a rat or a snitch. I was cooperating. And even the thing of you did it to save your own life. I mean, everybody these days, everybody has their own opinions of what constitutes a rat or not. You see 6ix9ine's campaign. 6ix9ine is funny because if you peep 6ix9ine's game, on one side of the coin, he's trying to act like I'm the one that claims my shit. I stand on what I did. On the other side of the coin, you can clearly see he's still trying to manipulate or make people not even understand, believe that he did what he should have done because of the way that people were treating him. For example, they allegedly slept with my baby moms and they kidnapped me. And yeah, if your friends is out here kidnapping you, obviously you should have fucking issues with them. But the life you live, this all comes when you sign up for this shit. I mean, that's what they tell me when you sign up for it. And Al Sharpton to me is no fucking different. It's like, how did you get involved with the mafia to begin with? Let me tell you something. There's a lot of super rich or powerful people in the world, and they've never shared a single syllable with the mafia. The mafia doesn't just get next to any and everyone like, oh, there goes opportunity. Bully, we here. You got something going on where they, maybe you got befriended. Maybe you exchanged a phone number or two. Maybe you had a conversation. Maybe you attended a certain event. Maybe you received a favor. Maybe somebody gave you a car. Maybe somebody helped you. Maybe somebody protected you. Maybe somebody off somebody for you or ran down on somebody for you. This is how people get close to you when they're not supposed to be close to you. The mafia, going all the way back to the early days, they know how to fucking make sure that you're in the you owe me one. You know what I'm saying? Shit, look at what was that in the Goodfellas? Now you got to come up with police money every week. Fuck you, pay me. If the rent is due, fuck you, pay me. You know what I'm saying? You go to for a favor, and then that favor turns into being exploited. So, Al, I would love to see a documentary one day of how you got to the point of saying the mafia was gonna kill me. What were you out here involved in? Who was you out here dealing with to that point to begin with? I want to hear about Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups and there's allegations of mafia involvement. You know how many NBA players would never come close to involvement with the mafia ever? So what makes it you? That's always a question to me, B. That's always, and the conversation keeps going, but we're gonna move on. Like, because when you think of examples, a classic one like Steven Seagal, there's a million actors in the world. Why were you allegedly attacked and threatened by the mafia? And he went to court behind it, just like Al Sharpton too, right? Allegedly. But Al Sharpton over here talking about he was wearing a wire and taking down people like what's the name from fucking Tyson's manager that they just mentioned? Like, it's spooky shit, man. These people, they go in there and they come home and you just never know. You just never know who you're standing next to, B. All right, I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, let's move on. This is a spooky accusation to see out there. And I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I have no reason yet, from what I've seen online, to co-sign, but it's got legs. It is T Grizzly getting accusations of being a rat as well. Now we know how it goes, right? Like it's one thing to be called a rat. It's another thing to be like the reputation of a young thug. Somebody that's got all these interviews talk about, I could smell a rat, and you fuck nigga, you gonna start talking before you even get to the precinct, you bitch ass nigga, and then get those accusations. So T Grizzly, his whole come out party was what song? Okay, like we never want to see a T Grizzly. I'm not going to say accusations, because today you can accuse anybody of anything and it could be 1000% false. The internet is the internet. But we damn sure don't want to see anything that ties them to it, where people would even be like, wait a minute, there really is cause to question. But they're saying it goes back to this incident, which is all the way back in 2022. T Grizzly, burglars hit my house, took $1 million in jewelry and cash. So this particular article is not too relevant to us, but this is what it necessarily or supposedly stems from, I should say. So we see how long ago this was. Now, the paperwork that they got up, or the first one that went around, was this one. And there's a little clip of it. Investigation due to newly discovered and cut off evidence targeted on the day of his engagement, wedding, cutoff. The stage name T Grizzly, I began by cutoff. 6-pack lineup to see if he was able to cut off. Then chose number 4, which was a photograph, respectfully cut off. So the insinuation of this clip that's going around of the paperwork is saying that there was a lineup, allegedly, of people that ran up in his house, or was he there? I don't even know how he would know the faces, even if he did point somebody out. But of course, we're not going to grade that rule, despite how much things have changed these days, and say, if you point somebody out, there's cause to justify if you's a street nigga. No. No. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But then again, if I help y'all out a little bit, there are situations where people would say even street niggas can use authorities in like scenarios that's not street or doesn't. Damn, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, for example, a street nigga having a car accident, somebody hit their car, pull it over, call the 911, asking for a police report so that you could then use that for your insurance. Or even if you don't want to use it for your insurance, just put it on the record that you're not the root cause of this accident so that you don't get sued by the other person or whatever. But calling the police, right? I mean, if a street nigga does that, like you're gonna call him a rat, y'all decide. But this one right here, of saying allegedly somebody ran up in his house and then he pointed them out in a lineup, y'all decide. And look at the song that they're trying to play for this shit.
Bro, kill me if I snitch, because if you snitch, I'm gonna kill you.
That's kind of crazy. Okay. Whack 100 may have been the leader of all of this. We're gonna listen to Whack for a little bit before we move on. Now you see this paperwork in the background. I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit looks typed up by a 5-year-old. I'm not saying the words. I'm just saying the layout of it doesn't look legal. Is this a case number up here on the left? I just don't see paperwork that looks like this, especially not federal. But even some state shit that I haven't seen it that looks like this. But either way, let's hear him out, because Whack is Whack, right? Every once in a while he hits, so we gotta listen to him.
I just sent out the text.
Let's go. Hot off the press. Detroit, stand up.
What? Oh,
Devonshire Police Department, Los Angeles. Officer Hamilton, badge number 3219842. Investigation report. February 7, 2024. On or about 9/28/2022, I, Detective Hamilton, badge number 3219842, received this case to investigate a residential burglary. The home was burglarized. Entry was made by shattering the rear sliding glass door. The thief made off with $1 million cash, jewelry, and multiple expensive handbags. On February 17, 2024, at 1334 hours, I met with homeowner Terrell Wallace and Maisha Agnew for a follow-up investigation due to newly discovered evidence. Mr. Wallace stated his home was targeted on the day of his engagement wedding. Mr. Wallace is a musician with the stage name T Grizzly. I began by providing Mr. Wallace with a 6-pack lineup to see if he was able to identify any suspects. Mr. Wallace then chose figure number 4, which was a photograph of Johnson. Mr. Wallace stated he doesn't know Johnson personally, but Johnson bragged about breaking into the Wallace's residence. I then provided Mr. Wallace a photograph of Johnson and 2 unknown male figures on what seemed to be a FaceTime call. Mr. Wallace informed me that he got Johnson to admit his role in the burglary. Mr. Wallace then provided me with video from security cameras which showed an unknown assailant exiting the rear of the residence. The assailant had on black and white hooded sweatshirt. Mr. Wallace then provided me with a photograph of what seemed to be Johnson via Instagram Shooter Gang, SH53TERGANG_, standing on a dark gray colored SUV wearing a black and white hooded sweatshirt. I then provided Mr. Wallace with the link to www.evidence.com to upload the photographs and videos. I then asked Mr. Wallace if he had any questions for me. Mr. Wallace stated he didn't have any more questions for me, so I ended my investigation as I didn't have any further questions for Mr. Wallace. Now, today I tried to take the day off. I sent this shit. I got this shit about an hour ago. Do I know Shooter? Yes, I know Shooter very well. He's from 5 Trey Avalon Gangster Crib. I didn't really want to expose this one.
The allegation is worse than I thought when I was introing it. I ain't gonna lie. And here's why. I could speak for us civilians when I try to think what you guys should or maybe should not be doing as you street niggas. If I'm a street nigga, hypothetically, for this example, my house gets broken into and I call the cops and I tell them my house is broken into, I just can't call you a snitch, okay? If I'm a street nigga, my house gets broken into and the police say, we want to get our hands on your security camera footage, and you turn over your security camera footage, or you turn over cameras in your house or whatever. Me, I know that niggas got their own rules or whatnot. I'm not calling you a snitch for that neither. If anything, the reason why I'm giving you my Ring camera footage or the cameras around my house is to show you that this isn't no inside job, no fraudulent bullshit, and I'm not involved, right? So I'm just clearing myself, right? At that point, there's no names, there's no faces that I'm personally supplying you. For example, insurance fraud. They say in that situation, the thieves made off, or the burglars made off with $1 million in jewelry and some bags, okay? Now, what if my jewelry is insured? It's just to me, that's just like me calling the cops to file a police report after a car accident so I could talk to my insurance, right? No different than here's my police report that my house was burglarized. If you want my Ring camera footage, you could have it. And now to me, this shows I'm not the one that did it. So when I walk up to my insurance company and say, hey, I just lost $1 million. I've been paying you motherfuckers every month. It's your turn to cut me a check. That's it. And then I could go about my business. I told y'all my man Future, he ended up going in and out of court because he let off at somebody that was trying to steal his car in the driveway. And when he came out, he let off at him, but the guy was fleeing. So it's not that he and the guy had issues in court. It's that when the cops got their hands on his Ring footage to investigate why shots was going off in the neighborhood, they just saw that it's like they call like a little bit, they could hit you with like a reckless endangerment or that type of stuff. But, you know, he ended up beating it. But anyway, like turning over your Ring footage is to clear me, you know, at my house. Like, what else do I have these fucking cameras for? I'm not just sitting behind the TVs watching the cameras like Tony Montana. I got him like for normally to go back. Did somebody steal the package off my porch? Did somebody break into the window? Is that really a deer that did that damn? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want me to do? So I'm not calling you a snitch for none of that shit. What Wack just read off, allegedly, is way different because he reads it almost like T Grizzly set the guy up. He kind of implies there like he was on a FaceTime with the guy, right? And then turns this stuff over to the police. And then if you show up to the police department to then point this guy out as, yeah, that's the guy. Oh, nah, I would expect you street niggas to do what you always say, especially if you know who robbed you. And especially if you're doing FaceTimes with the guy and use a gangster, I expect you to keep it in the street. Go get him. That's what I expect the gangsters to do. Right? I hope this is fake. I hope it's fake. Now, Wack has jumped out the window a couple times. Used this snitch and this rat word where he shouldn't. Put it on people's jackets where he shouldn't. Is that legitimate paperwork that he's reading? And then we're just gonna have to go from there. All right, I see y'all with me. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Oh, you could tell when I don't really listen to shit all the way before we hop on these live streams, right? All right, let's go to Julio Fulio's trial. Now that that's going on, this soundbite, y'all. So we asked yesterday, is she cooked? Let's take a look at this one right here. Where is it? Court documents reveal 2021 text showing Alicia Andrews allegedly said she wanted Julio Fulio out the game. Now, yeah, your lawyer's kicking test out the game just means not rapping anymore. I heard Young and Ace's name come up too, right? Ooh.
Defendant then texts back to you, and this is January 21st of 2021, 8:39 a.m. Girl, I don't like Fulio. LMFAOOO, ugly bitch. He need to die. And SHID, that was Will Friend, and then FUCK, that code, and S.
Yeah, let's stop the whole lawyer trying to come back and say, you just talk about music. She said he needs to die in the message. Yeah, okay.
SHIT, he shot me and my friend died, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Okay, how about the lawyer tries this reach? Hey, jury, when she said he needs to die, it was just sarcasm. No, then you go on to talk about what Fulio did to maybe one of your friends. Oh, you're done.
Yeah, I'm pointing out who did it. What's she saying there? What's she talking about?
Well, she's referring to somebody that had just died that we know.
In this gang war?
Yeah, we're basically just got.
The defendant then.
Was that a witness account doubling down on it, co-signing? Yo. Should she have taken if it was true that she had a plea deal, should she have taken a plea deal? Was one even offered for her? I don't even know if they should offer her one if they got evidence like this going around. I'm pretty sure it's going to get worse. I'm pretty sure. So yesterday, when we went over the defense side, pretty much, we honed in on that. That was fun. I want to spin back and I want us to hear the prosecution side. Now, some of y'all in the chat know a little bit more about Florida DA and Florida prosecution. And some of y'all was in yesterday's chat saying that the mother don't play. This guy was cooking. This whole segment that I ended up listening to yesterday, just as I was moving around, is about 90 minutes long. Of course, we're not going to play the whole 90 minutes right now. And everything that we've skipped that we're going to play right now, he is going off. And it's just like, yo, they are done. Especially when the actual shooters and the rest of the suspects come behind this trial, they're done. But I just fast forwarded to the point of the stalking because we're kind of focusing on Alicia right now and seeing all the different evidence that ties her to shit. Look at some of this evidence that on the opening argument from the prosecution, some of the details and the evidence that they're laying out.
Without that intelligence, without providing that real-time information to the assault team that's in the Impala, there would be no surprise. There would be no ambush of Mr. Jones and this conspiracy would fail. It was that intelligence, that real-time surveillance and communication, the locations and routes that were provided by this defendant and her boyfriend, Isaiah Chance, operating alone in that Chevy Cruze, while the other three conspirators, the assault team, were in the Impala. And they were doing everything they could to keep that Impala out of the sight of Mr. Jones and his friends, because Mr. Gaithright drove that Impala. It was registered to his mother, but he drove it all the time. He was notoriously known for driving that car.
Notoriously known. What?
This was a coordinated team effort. In order to remain secretive and to not alert the target that they were conducting surveillance, they utilized several different techniques. Number one, they parked away from the club, and they utilized disguises that you heard some about yesterday in jury selection about COVID masks. You're going to see in this video, June of 2024, they're both wearing COVID masks. Now, interestingly, because it was suggested yesterday that there's many reasons people could wear COVID masks, it's the only time in this evidence you will ever see a mask on this defendant's face. You won't see it on her face when she returns back to Jacksonville through an Uber. You won't see it on her face any other time when she's entering into the Airbnb around her four co-conspirators. But they kept their...
That's what I say once again about when these lawyers be trying to take the jury or the judge for a fool. It disturbs me. Now I get it. Sometimes you got no other fucking angles to try, but it'd be so bullshit. If you're going to pitch to me as a defense lawyer, oh, as far as masks, it's not because she's out here hunting and on some criminality shit. It's because of COVID, right? And then they got her on camera in 20 other different locations. They got her in McDonald's. They got you over here. They got you back at the Airbnb. They got you back home. And no other place you're wearing this mask other than when you're stalking, walking around, giving up drops or performing drops in the parking lot where Julio Fulio was currently partying. That's the only time you're wearing your COVID mask. Don't take me for a fucking fool.
Distance, and you'll see that in this video, from the victim and his entourage. They attempted to blend into the background. They needed to get close enough to be able to conduct surveillance, to gather the information they needed, but not so close that they would be detected. They had to avoid that. So first they used an unrecognizable car, and then they used disguises. But what you're going to find, and remember the law and principle, she doesn't even need to be there to be part of this conspiracy or to be a principal. She's there. She drives there with Mr. Chance, and they park in the north end of the parking lot of Teasers. And she doesn't stay in the car. She gets out and she walks with him. You're going to see that. You can kind of see their images in the upper right-hand corner. This is a video. I'm going to play it in a minute. You're going to see him hand her phone to her and her put her code into the phone to open it, so they could utilize it to convey what they were watching and seeing. And again, they're out in the parking lot. She was there with them in the field, shoulder to shoulder, in the thick of it, on the ground, in the action. So they're wearing these masks, and it's not just like some costume mask. Obviously, a COVID mask is not going to necessarily draw that much attention, but it is going to hide their identities. Mr. Chance has a hoodie up on his head along with the COVID mask. They are clearly trying to disguise themselves. But again, she didn't stay in the car. She got out. And there was a reason for that. Because instead of allowing Mr. Chance to walk around in this dark parking lot with a hood on and a mask on by himself, walking.
Give us his opening statement, members of the jury. The chance
Overruled. Oh, shit.
They believe will be admitted in this case.
Oh,
Not the actual
defense wasn't like how he was
But
building
instead
up.
of allowing him to walk around in that parking lot by himself, a single man with a disguise on, she went with him because now they would be a couple. They would fit in. They would be non-threatening. So she acted not only helping in conducting the reconnaissance, she acted as camouflage.
He's cooking.
She acted as
He's cooking.
a disguise in and of herself. Now they're a couple. Now it's not just a single person who may be seen as threatening or may draw attention. This is just a...
Yo, I wouldn't even think to paint her like this, but you're trying to bring her down and give her life, right? The image that he's putting out in that courtroom right now of her being next, I didn't pull no triggers. I'm just this harmless ass girl. Before we get to things like the text messages and shit of you wanting Fulio dead, but yo, you being in the field on the ground in these multiple parking lots to just provide coverage for the actual shooters, disguised in the form of hiding in plain sight. Let's look like a couple. Let's blend in. Let's say true or false. He is putting a disgusting image in everybody's head up there, B. Oh,
Couple walking around in the parking lot and a club where a lot of people were milling about in groups.
in groups.
She
If you go to the club tonight, it's Friday, right? Let's say you in the let out and you outside and you look around and you just see like one guy with a hood and the COVID mask off in the cut walking around. Like, I'm not saying that you would be like, oh, he's here to kill somebody, but you would take note. You would just be like, all right. You would pay attention a little bit. Why? Because in those environments, people tend to be more grouped up than anything for sure. He is painting a great fucking image, B. Damn.
provided that by being there in the field with them. She provided that cover and that camouflage. And she provided, obviously, a second set of eyes to watch. Both of them surveilling and watching Mr. Jones and his entourage. And then, as I just mentioned a minute ago, she provided the comms, the communication, her phone. Now, you're going to see in the evidence, Mr. Chance's phone is tracking all the way to Tampa from Jacksonville. And it's tracking at that Airbnb. It's hitting off a nearby tower, but it's her phone they're utilizing, you will find in the evidence. Now, you're going to find in this evidence that they were not utilizing the calling function of that iPhone or even its Apple text message app, the two ways that most people communicate. They're using some kind of a special application to be able to communicate that's undetected. But at some point, they have to break radio silence because the person they're communicating with, Sean Gathright, is not answering. He's not picking up his phone, so they actually send a text through the Apple text message app. Pick up your phone. And that's right around this time, just a few minutes later. You see the defendant opening the phone for Mr. Chance, and you can see their COVID masks. One is wearing the blue COVID mask that was so prevalent in 2020, 2021, and she's wearing a black one.
They got that footage.
This is Mr. Jones and his friends arriving at that club. And you can see the time there, 2:22 in the morning. That, again, is several minutes off, but it's about that time. 2:21, and there they are, and you see Mr. Chance on the phone in the parking lot at the same place. Now later, after Mr. Jones has gone into the club and been in there and done his thing in there with his friends, he's now...
Yo, Fulio is moving around way too much. So we already saw it back when it happened, you know, the video of him going live. We out here, you know, going in and out of these clubs and whatnot. And even when he advertised, DM me if you want the Addy to pull up for his birthday party and all that. It's just like, is it fucking nigga? Like what was it? Nobody gonna touch me. What was it? What makes you get that? Is it the liquor? Is it this is my night of slipping? Is it like I don't care? Is it like it is what it like? What is it? Because of course, unbeknownst to him, it don't matter how many people you're with. He's with 5, 10, 15, 20 people. It don't matter. He has no clue. He's being stalked location to location. Same people. He pulls up in a parking lot. They pull up in a parking lot. He leaves. He pulls up to another party. They leave and pull up in that same next party and get out and walk and stalk you again. You then get to the hotel. They pull into the hotel too. Like 3 different locations. And he has no clue. But the given, even moving around, yo, if I lived a Julio Fulio life, like you can't go to the barbershop, You don't go to the movie theater. You don't go to Six Flags. Like you don't go to parties. The shitty thing is if you're a Julio Fulio lifestyle and you're a rapper, how do you do your shows? How do you post your shows? How do you post where you're gonna be when you got these type of ops like people's died already on both sides? All that ATK and all that shit is real. That shit is a real urban war down there. And how are you outside like this? How are you outside like this, B? I watched the stream with 05 Melly one time. Y'all know who 05 Melly is? He was into it with the other side. His ops was like King Von and Dirk and them and all that. Even if you listen to interviews from like let's say THF Bezu, they put respect on 05 Melly's name because they know that he was really out there. He's tearing shit. He's shooting shit for real. And I saw a live one time where he was just doing a store walk with him and some of his boys. And if you just listen to how they move, and it's like, damn, that lifestyle is fucked up to the point where they feel like whether it's the police or the ops, this 5-minute live of me going to the store could be deadly or could cost me my freedom. And they know it. They joking about it a little bit as they doing it, but they know it. Just going to the store publicly. So let alone pulling a Fulio, moving from spot to spot like this, and everybody could see you and track you and know you, and you live and you. What was he thinking? Boy.
Leaving, you can see Mr. Edwards' head up there. It's 2:46 or about that time. 2:46, 59, almost 2:47. And what happens at 2:47? This car up here in the upper right, that's on that road, which is Nebraska, is pulling in to the north end of the parking lot of Teasers. This was an extremely well-orchestrated conspiracy, coordinated. He's walking out of the club on the other side of the club, and out of the blue, the assault team vehicle is pulling into the club. That is tight surveillance and intel. Now, in this photograph, that's 2:48. This is Mr. Jones' Charger. You can see the lights starting to light up because they're already inside the car. They're getting ready to leave. That's the Impala that has come in on the north side, gone down the west side, and is now passing in the front. Out of necessity, passing in the front. So this is just an aerial view of Teasers. You can see Nebraska over here to the right. You can see this little road here, South Castle. The defendant and her boyfriend come and they park here in the north end. They get out, they walk around, they come around this way, they stand here. The entrance is over here. So they're way down here. You kind of saw that in that photograph, which would put them down there to the west. They conduct surveillance. They walk back up here. They get back into the car, and then they drive out onto East Castle. The assault team comes in the red arrows, comes in on the north end. We just watched it. They come down this way, and they go down Castle. And as you can,
so it seems like they was gonna try to get him there too. Maybe they feel like the opportunity wasn't there. Maybe they didn't see him by the time they pulled up. Oh man, like he escaped the Grim Reaper once or twice, possibly during the day, knowing it or not.
See, before I move on, a lot of folks standing around out there, a lot of people, potential witnesses. Now, from there, when Mr. Jones leaves with his friends in the 3 cars, they travel to another club, an after party. This is Truth 18 on Bush. The Dodge Charger, the Hyundai, and you'll see the Altima come up.
That's close as shit. If the Altima comes up. Oh, no. The black shit ain't an Altima, right? That they're in? That the shooters are in?
Down here to the lower left, you can see some of the party, Miss Bentley, Miss Albritton, Tafa McRae in the light blue. And up on the top there where you just saw the flashing lights, it's Armani Turner and Miss Randolph getting out of the Hyundai.
They know who everybody is. Damn.
There's Mr. Jones in the lower right with the red hat, very recognizable. So they go up to the second floor of this strip mall where this club is.
This is where he went live as
There's
well.
Gino Norris in front walking up, his friend.
At least from these particular shooters' standpoint, one thing I think that we see is him going live didn't necessarily matter. Everybody's looking at him like, yo, you crazy, you tripping, maybe that's, but the shooters and the trackers were already on him to this second location as well. He just happens to go live. It really didn't even matter. They already had him location-wise. He's with all these people. With all these people, it don't matter.
Party.
Look at this shit. It's right there, go right there. I think this is when he starts to go live.
And you'll see Mr. Jones will start live streaming.
There you go.
With his phone.
Yep. Look. Showing him, all his friends behind him. We pulling in, we pulling up. I mean, it didn't matter, but wow.
Again, advertising his location.
And that's the video that we seen. Yep. Wow. Bold young man. Bold as shit. You know the thing too, if you're probably in the situation that Fulio was in, meaning that in the midst of like this war and this back and forth, if you do that a couple times, you do a couple shows, you go to a couple clubs and nothing happens to you, you probably start to feel like you're good, right? He could have did this same shit right here that he did on this night, moving around, advertising, pull up, it's my birthday, DM me if you want the Addy, I'm gonna go live over here, I'm pulling up to this show, grabbing a bag. He could have did this 5-10 times before and nothing happened. And then you start to put your guard down probably, right? Damn. Just being out like this is just so crazy if you're Julio to me. We're going to show these niggas pull in now.
This is from another location. And you can see the Chevy Cruze up in the top part.
Yeah, they're in the
screen.
Cruze. And camera angles from everywhere.
And now, in the top of the screen, the hooded individual, the defendant, and Mr. Chance conducting more surveillance. Walking as a couple, so they're not threatening, they don't stand out.
You're done, shorty. Twice. You and your COVID mask in the parking lot.
And now they walk back again past the club.
You're done, shorty.
Mr. Jones and his friends leaving.
She's catching life.
The Impala on the top of the screen. That's across the street. You'll find in the evidence that the victim and his entourage go down the parking lot. They do a U-turn. They come back out. They end up heading east and then doing a U-turn and going back west.
They got all this footage, man. To just sit for months and just put this whole puzzle together. Jeez.
The Impala just crossed the street. Now it's back up at that stop sign in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah, once again, take me for a fool. You just happen to go to the same place, get in the parking lot, walk around, and do nothing and get back in your car. Then you just happen to end up at the second place with me, walk around, look around with your COVID mask, and get back in the car. Then when Fulio leaves, you just happen to pull off with him again. Like, you take me for a fool. Like, how many coincidences do you want me to add up for your fucking plea of innocent? Yo, yeah, she's cooked. She's cooked. She's done. She's cooked.
Visible, except
Let's be honest. She deserves to be cooked. Like, I try to avoid saying shit like that on these streams, y'all, but let's keep it real. She fucking deserves to be cooked, y'all.
for those oncoming lights now coming up the northbound side. Around and does the 3-point turn. You're going to see in the video evidence right here. They pass within feet of each other at the same time. And of
The
course,
next
the
location.
Impala never goes around or reveals itself past that point, keeping out of sight of Mr. Jones and his entourage. This is a camera mounted on the east side of the home to suites, pointing to the southeast, and it is picking up the Impala now pulling into the complex and going northbound on the east side of the hotel.
Location 3.
This is going to go to a camera facing north-northeast, showing it passing, still going northbound. And then it turns back to the west. This is a camera that's mounted on the north side of the home to suites that picks up the Impala as it passes and turns towards the west.
Damn.
And now the Impala is on the west side of the hotel. There's this pool and this patio area here that's on the west side of the hotel. Going around this way would be the portico. This is the west side of the hotel. The charging stations are right here. And you can see the Impala comes and stops. It does not go around that southern end of the home to suites. It's avoiding the southern end at this point. And here comes the Chevy Cruze passing directly past in the car that's not known by anyone, the victim.
And we showed yesterday, those charging stations have cameras on them themselves. Wow.
Goes to the north where the Impala is, goes right past the Impala, does a 3-point U-turn and comes back. This is another camera picking up the Impala and the Cruze. That's on the Tesla, part of its security system. You'll see the Cruze kind of do a little turn there, back up, and come back to the south.
Oh, this movement right here. I mean, what else do you need? This is crazy. This whole, they got everything. And there goes parked right there at the top. Oh no, backing up now.
I don't know if you saw that or not. The Cruze is turning
Yeah, I
around,
saw
but
it.
the Impala
I saw it.
pulling into a spot over here at the same time as it passes back by.
Objection, Your Honor. This is cumulative.
Overruled. This is opening statement.
Yo, defense. You're already sitting here like an hour in getting your ass whooped. And then defense, objection. This is cumulative. Judge already got their popcorn out at this point. Judge is like, overruled. Shut up. Let's sit your ass there. It's 90 minutes in. Oh my God. And then we went through a lot of this yesterday as far as the actual shooting footage. That's what's after this. Wow. To think, people, this is that's the prosecution's opening. And I feel like we only watched like maybe 20 plus minutes of 90 minutes sped up. It is over for her, and she deserves it. They all do. Even tactically, I think now, even seeing her come up first and this amount of evidence thrown out, let's look that up real quick. If multiple suspects for the same crime have separate charges, separate charges, can they still have the same judge? That's huge. I wonder. Let's learn something. It says yes. Yes, multiple suspects charged in connection with the same crime can still have the same judge, but it depends on how the cases are filed and handled by the court. Yes, it's possible. So, and the reason why I want to look at that real quick is think about it. Even the order of trying these suspects matters. Here goes the girlfriend, and if she's charged, if she's convicted, the boyfriend automatically, like, you're moved up to like a 98%, right? Like, what is your defense? The girlfriend is already convicted, and she's not even the alleged shooter. And then all this evidence that obviously is going to be damning the shooters is going to come right into their trials as well. Now, I wouldn't assume that it's the same jury. Let these motherfuckers go home, bring in another jury pool for the separate trials, but you can have the same judge. So if you're the judge and you're sitting there and you watch the conviction come out for her, and then you sentence her, when suspect 2, 3, 4, and 5 come, you're gonna beat it. Like, the only way, your defense attorney better be coming with a whole angle and a whole evidence that mistaken identity. Like, I'm just not the person that has been laid out in all these prior trials so far. That's the only way. That's the only fucking way. My audio, am I good? Am I good, people? I see Sammy P put audio. Am I good? Let me also check on my side. Audio. Check. I see audio good on my side. Different, yeah, I would assume different jury too. But we're about to move on, people. Jury. Audio, y'all good? Y'all good? Okay. Yeah, it looks good on my side too. Appreciate you, Chance. All right, let's leave it alone. I didn't know it was gonna be that heavy, but it is what it is. So now that feels like kind of like we could have just went with that as a title. I like that more than this NBA shit, to be honest. But we got to stick with this because this is big news. All right, so let's get to it. As far as this news that rocked the NBA, y'all got the feds out, right? Let's get the backstory first. Let's hear the FBI take the podium, deliver their case, tell everybody what's going on. I'd rather them say it than me say it.
Good morning. Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any. I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that the
30 people, all of them's going to stand tall, right? All right.
these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation. And we could not have done it without our interagency partners that are before us today. The NYPD, HSI, and teams of law enforcement officials from around the country made this day possible. It takes a team to bring this kind of justice, sweeping justice, into the halls of the United States courtrooms, where our brave United States attorney has led this prosecution. It takes courageous prosecutors to stand before you and say, we will not allow this kind of illicit activity to happen, not only at the national sporting level, but also where it hides in La Casa Nostra. And when these two collided together, they perpetrated a fraud that is historic in terms of not just money, but the scheme and the deceit that they utilize to steal and swindle people for money, to include crypto fraud. This is an operation that showcases to you that under President Trump's administration, there is no room for any type of criminal behavior, be it on the world's largest stage or in the back rooms of tiny parlors where card games are being played. We are proud to stand here today with the men and women of the FBI and this legal team. And to the United States Attorney, I just want to thank you personally for taking the time to display the work that the media is about to hear about today in detail. As I said, it does take courageous prosecutors, but it takes a courageous United States Attorney to bring this case, because we are going to take heat for it. But we don't shy away in this administration. We don't say no. What we do is we bring the results across the finish line. We bring them to the public. We bring you accountability. And yes, they will have their day in court, and you will hear the evidence through the court system exclusively. We will not deny anyone of due process. And that's the brilliance of this system. That's the brilliance of this administration. Everyone will be held to account.
Yeah, and as far as everybody that you're holding to account, so let's start looking specifically at Chauncey Billups. So far, he's the biggest name swept up in this, right? The Terry Rozier thing, once again, it didn't surprise anybody because he's already been through this years ago with the at just the NBA level, not with the Feds, just with the NBA, and they cleared him and he continued to play. But Chauncey Billups, biggest name so far. You got another ex-player that's being swept into this. They mentioned multiple crime mob families, though. I haven't heard about any of those names yet. I want to see those names, because when you say that this is across like 11 states and 30 people were picked up thus far, there will be more. But out of 30 people, of any of them tied to these crime organizations and crime families, I want to know that. I wonder if it's published of the actual 30 people so far. But anyway, let's go to Chauncey. Currently the biggest name swept up in all of this. What do we got here? This says the FBI says the Mafia used Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups' X-ray tables to cheat victims out of $7 million in illegal poker games. $7 million? Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones were charged after allegedly being involved with an illegal poker operation tied to the Mafia. Billups' involvement is not related to games he coached. The individuals allegedly involved in running the illegal poker games are accused of rigging contests in their favor. Individuals use rigged shuffling machines and X-ray tables to cheat other players out of money. Man, I'd kill you. What? X-ray machines and shit?
19, the defendants in this case orchestrated a scheme to use wireless cheating technology to run rigged poker games across the United States, including in the Hamptons, Las Vegas, Miami, and Manhattan. The scheme targeted victims known as, quote, fish, who were often lured to participate in these rigged games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes who were known as, quote, face cards.
So you know what those face cards are, right? And that's one thing that Chauncey Billups is being alleged of. Now, if you got all these different high-profile places, Vegas, the Hamptons, New York, and you got all these other people, the fish, the money, even the whales sometimes, what's attractive to them? Especially if you're natural gamblers and you got all this money to play with. What attracts you? The celebrity lifestyle and being around some of these other celebrities, the face cards. Hey man, we're going to the Hamptons and we're gonna be gambling with Chauncey Billups tonight. We're gonna be gambling with this NBA player tonight. We're gonna be gambling with this celebrity tomorrow night or this weekend. It's all part of these schemes. This isn't brand new. I know some people might be hearing this for the first time in the midst of this NBA case, but this shit is like common. Like let's say allegedly, even the Mafia, who practices being in the shadows and being secret and being faceless and nameless, they get their hands on the alleged Steven Seagals or the Al Sharptons or the Chauncey Billups, and they put you there. And then for whatever reasons, they got you in tandem with them. They work through you, and then they get their bag on the back end, right? This is common sense shit. This is nothing new. But to see a Chauncey, and that's where Shaq came in earlier and said, nigga, you make $9 million. This is embarrassing. Like, what more do you need? Well, were you pressured? Were you getting extorted? Do you just have the gambling rush? Or are you just a fool, like Shaq said?
The fish here at the table.
So we don't need the fish part. Let me continue to move on with the Chauncey Billups piece. Boy, oh boy. So on TMZ Sports, what do we see? Chauncey Billups allegedly leaked team info to bet or feds indicate. Now, that's the piece to me that's more interesting and possibly has larger illegal gambling and poker games is everywhere. There's only one NBA though. That's what I care more about in the midst of all of this shit unfolding in months to come from the feds, is all of the illegal bets that take place from people shaving points, purposefully sitting out of games, purposefully tanking a season towards the end of the season, where now you're able to give inside information. No, we're not even going to start Damian Lillard for the next 10 games as we're tanking because we want to get one of the top picks in the upcoming draft. That's more interesting to me. But now when we get into that side, when we get off to the poker tables and we get to that side of things, let's see what they say. Federal prosecutors indicated in court documents this month that Chauncey Billups allegedly leaked confidential information about the Trailblazers to at least one bettor. Billups appears to be listed as co-conspirator 8 in the now unsealed indictment filed by feds last week in New York. Now, let's see what they're saying about co-conspirator 8. Co-conspirator 8, an individual where identity is known to the grand jury, was resident Oregon. Co-conspirator 8 was an NBA player from approximately 1997 through 2014, and the NBA coach since at least 2021. Don't you hate when they make it so obvious? It's just like, they say where you live, resident of Oregon. They say what year you started, 1997. What year you became a coach, 2014. It's like, we know it's Chauncey. And then they got him walking out of court making bail the other day. It's like, we know who co-conspirator 8 is in your fucking paperwork. And even when we was looking at the surf shit, remember, we pulled up the different reasons why they labeled you in paperwork as co-conspirator. Sometimes because you are a rat. Sometimes because you are in the wind. They haven't grabbed you yet, but the indictment still comes down. Sometimes because they're just not ready to publicly say who you are, even if they do have you in their custody. There's all these different reasons. So we all know Chauncey Billups at this point. He's already been arrested at this point. Does a superseding indictment come that still says co-conspirator 8? I don't know. We'll see. The March 2023 Portland Trailblazers game, they're keying on something specific here. On or about March 24, 2023, the Portland Trailblazers played the Chicago Bulls on March 24 game. Prior to the game, Trailblazers record was 32-40. Shitty record, not even over 500. And the team was out of the playoff contention with only 10 games remaining in the season. Damn, 10 games. I just gave that example on accident. All right. Prior to the March 24th game, co-conspirator 8 told the defendant, Eric Ernest, who's that? So you don't name co-conspirator 8, but you name this guy Eric Ernest. Okay. That the Trailblazers were going, I bet you he's going to take the stand, by the way. That the Trailblazers were going to be tanking, i.e. intentionally losing to increase their odds of getting a better draft pick. Now, I did see that said publicly already, too. That is a valid narrative that's going around. In the upcoming NBA draft, co-conspirator 8 told Ernest before the news publicly announced that several of the Trailblazers' best players, including player 1, an individual whose identity is known to the grand jury, would not be playing in the March 24th game. The information that the Trailblazers would be tanking and not playing player 1 was not available to the public, including betting companies. It's assumed that player 1 is Damian Lillard, the star of your team at that time, right? It does beg to ask the question, what's the difference, or how do you prove, if we want to throw Chauncey some bail there? Now, the poker thing is the poker thing, and we're going to see more about that in a second. As far as the leaked information, how do you prove the difference between, or do you need to, but the difference between, I'm just running my mouth. Like, what if I'm having a conversation with one of my homies? Yo, man, good luck with tonight's game. Yeah, man, it's probably going to be shitty. Between me and you, man, Dame is going to be out for the next 10 games. And then that guy runs and goes make a bet. Or he runs and tells him. Like, what's the difference between that, or how do you even prove that, versus him walking up on somebody saying, psst, yo, Dame ain't playing for the next 10 games. Go handle your business. Break me off on the back end. Like, what's the difference between knowing that and how do you prove it if there needs to be a difference? That's interesting. And therein lies an example of how we know this shit is rampant. If you just happen to be caught, the Terry Roziers of the world, the Chauncey Billups of the world, like, how many people are in the air? You could be the 8th man on the bench. You could be somebody we don't even know their fucking name. How do you stop that person from telling his homie, yo, psst, Luka's not playing tonight, and let him go make a quick 10 grand. How do you stop that? You can't. Because it's one thing if you start targeting, the coaches or the medical staff, but the players be on the inside too. Like the whole league has to figure out a way to strap down sensitive, gamble worthy information. And how do you do that? How? I don't know. All right. Back to Chauncey though. Feds say Chauncey Billups got $50K for one poker game. Court docs also reference NBA stars. Okay. Federal prosecutors said in new court documents obtained by TMZ Sports at the October 2020, Billups was paid for helping a group of alleged criminals cheat someone out of a large sum of money in a high-stakes card game. They got the machines. Like when you see shit like this, the machines that rig things, like how do you even go to Vegas and confidently, gamble or Atlantic City? How do you comfortably go to any casino and put money on the table when you see motherfuckers got shit like this in their crib? So what do you expect is happening in these multi-billion-dollar cities like Vegas? You think the only odds they got is because there's a 0 and a double 0 on the table, you dumb fucks? Real talk. I've literally followed certain shooters on roulette tables, meaning dealers, because if you could YouTube it. You could YouTube roulette table dealers, and watch them aim for either certain areas of the wheel and they can hit it, or even certain numbers. Go YouTube it. It's there. It's literally a fact that people have that talent. You'll see the wheel spin, and then they'll say, all right, I'm going to hit either this 20 or this 6. And then boom, they throw the ball in and it lands. You do anything long enough with enough practice, you can get good at it. No? And I used to remember like going to like Atlantic City and shit. Oh, that one, like, and that's why you got to be a big tipper. Okay. Oh, that one right there is hitting numbers, and then every time you hit a number, you give a tip. I remember one time I was hitting with a dealer and I probably made like, let's say maybe $2,000, something like that. Right. And you know how they change it, they swapping it out the dealers after a certain time period, right? The dealer that I was hitting with, the other one comes in, swaps in, the dealer that I'm hitting with leaves, goes to another table. My dumb ass cashed out right there and went to the table and followed her and then started gambling with her immediately and didn't hit a single number after that. You want to know why? Because she probably was telling me, you following me? You think I'm going to lose my job over you, you dumb fuck? This looks like we are colluding clearly. Like me and you actually might know each other out of here, outside of this casino. And every fucking bet I've made, gone. And she's like, dickhead. It's real shit. Go YouTube it. It's real. It's real. Let alone the machines that give X-ray and the magnets. And boy, I could keep going. If you guys are learning anything today, it's about only gamble money that you could afford to lose. That's the best thing I can fucking tell you right now, of me giving you some of the shit that I've seen myself. Real shit. All right, but back to Chauncey. All right, now inserts the chat Damon Jones. The documents allege that the Hall of Fame NBA player was a crucial part of the plot, as his status helped lure wealthy victims into playing the games. They also claim former Cleveland Cavaliers guard Damon Jones was eventually recruited to play a similar role. Ooh, they got text messages here. D Jones, hey Rob, can you send one of those wires on your phone? I don't know how much the job pays tomorrow, but can I get a $10,000 advance on it? God really bless me that you have action for me, because I needed it today bad. That was in 2023. D Jones, LOL, man. Y'all call D Jones in because y'all know I know what I'm doing. Let me hibachi like Gilbert Arenas. Oh shit, I swear on everything, I didn't read this before. I didn't know that we was going to be talking about Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones and LeBron's piece, but we're going to get to Gilbert in a second, y'all. I got y'all. But I didn't know we was going to get to a text message while talking about these guys that has Gilbert's name in it. And why did he put his full name like that in the text? Who texts like that? Let me hibachi like Gilbert Arenas. What does that mean? We know what hibachi means, but damn. All right, Tony and Macon. Remember, if you have to think hard about a call, just fold. It sounds like y'all setting up these bullshit ass games. D, watch Amar. He's the Steph. Also watch Marco. He's the Bron. Does it all. Now, my lawyer could definitely say, like, I'm just saying, follow certain people that are more skilled without minus things that you can get in trouble for, like saying shit like, oh, we're all card counting together. But yeah, there's another way that you can interpret this shit as well. That text. Okay. All right. All right, let's go to this one. Staying with Chauncey for a second. The FBI says illegal poker games Chauncey Billups was involved in used X-ray tables that gave certain players an advantage where you could see the opponent's cards. They finessed over $7 million. Hey, if you guys play poker, don't let anybody sit down at them tables with them fucking check them glasses. If people, it's in your rights to sit down with fucking dark 5% tinted glasses because people think that that's the part of their poker face. You can't see my eyes. You can't see my eyes is going. You can't tell whether I need to fold on bluffing or whatever. But let me try them shits on before the game starts. Let me try this shits on, B. Let me see if there's any buttons on them or some shit. Let me try that shit on and see if I can see through the cards when I put your shit on. Fuck out of here. Yo, you even gotta look at people sideways because they got glasses on in today's world, B. Look at this shit. Somebody come look at this. Oh my God. Nigga say he's going to the contact. Yo, nigga, Blair I mentioned the glasses. He said, cool, this is 2025. Technology is everywhere. They got some people thinking Tupac's alive with these AI videos. Motherfucker, take my glasses. I'm going contacts on y'all. How do you stop it? And then we're going to get to a point in life where it's like, I took the glasses, I took the contacts. Now motherfuckers is getting operations. They're getting the eyeballs and shit. I'm reaching. We saw that. Reference King. We saw that in Pitch Black. Oh shit, ARP, you really are the best reference king. We saw that in Pitch Black. Vin Diesel got an eye operation so that he can see in the dark. Y'all can't fuck with me. I was gonna say in year 3000 the eyes come. No, they already did it in Pitch Black. You're late, ARP. Oh shit. Ain't that the truth? You tried it 2 or 5. Only the casino is allowed to cheat. All right. Speaking of only the casino, we got more to walk through. I really did my due diligence for y'all because it's such big news. But I read something behind the scenes. I looked up what makes private poker games legal or illegal. Because Gilbert is going through his case, and now you got these people going through their case. And here's the key factors. It says the key issue is house profit or a rake. All right. The biggest legal distinction, whether someone profits from organizing or running the game, that's what the rake is. So it's true. It's a true social game. All players are on equal footing and no one takes a cut or a fee beyond the personal winnings or losses. That is a definition. That's what makes it illegal. So if it's my house and I'm hosting these games with me and 10 people in my basement, whether I know all 10 people or whether y'all coming in and hang out with me, whatever the case may be, if I say, yo, I set all this up, it's my table, it's my house, it's my rules, I'm supplying the liquor, I'm supplying the location, doing all this shit, I'm just letting y'all know it costs $20 to walk in. That's a rake. If it's I'm leaving with 1% of the pot, that's a rake. If I'm leaving with 5% of every hand, that's a rake. I remember that even Gilbert Arenas' thing, they don't even let you try to skate around and use rakes hidden like in the form of waitresses. So if your waitress is getting tipped as she's serving drinks or whatever, and then let's say that waitress, she don't live there, you brought in the pretty girl to help serve drinks all night and she's getting tipped. But just like in many restaurants, walk into Waffle House, the waitress's tips are hit by the house. Oh, Waffle House. Yo, I'm killing with some of these references, B. That's now we know waitresses, they got to give up some portions of their tip in most restaurants, but in the gambling world, that's considered a rake. All right. So don't even think you could do it through the waitresses. I don't know. I'm not into gambling. You know, I don't even know how, literally, I don't know how to play poker. No bullshit. I was taught once or twice. I don't even remember. I don't know how to play poker. But if I was to play at somebody's poker game, if I went to somebody's crib and it was just like, yo, put $20 in the pot or something like that to be here. Pull up. I'm walking away. I'm scared. Now, of course, the feds ain't coming to knock on little Timmy's fucking $500 poker game. They got better things to do. I'm just saying, realize that you're doing something illegal. All right. All right, let's continue. Let's get a little bit into Terry Rozier, a little less profile than Chauncey Billups in this situation, of course, but even still. According to the FBI, this was the game where Terry Rozier allegedly profited $200,000 by purposefully leaving with an injury. We're going to watch the footage. But here's the question. Once again, he went through this with the NBA a while ago. He was cleared, and then he came back and he continued to play. Does that mean, or does that give the FBI that much more rooted cause to attack the NBA? We'll see. All right. So here's some of the betting behind this shit. All right. Oh, everybody's bets, him and his best friend, his family members and shit start coming, and his bets start going in. The game always looked crazy, y'all. Peep the footage. Look at this nigga. You see how he put his head up like that? Get the fuck out of here. Good actor. What is that? What is that? What kind of pass is that? Get the fuck. Are you serious?
Turn it over again. Having a tough night.
And then on the other side, good defense. A professional basketball player throws a pass to himself like that as a turnover.
And Rozier off the DHO. And he turned it over. Turn it up. But you don't want to play with your team, especially against the Miami Heat. I can tell you, hey, you don't like playing in Miami? Yeah. Better do a lock down to 3. They got to get busy. Rozier with a 9-1-1 comes up short. On barrel. Rozier contested 3 is short. The ultimate teammates and sacrificing so much.
Look at that floating air ball.
That all year. Empty corner 2-man game. Rozier with a 3. Anderson with a rebound.
Again.
Rozier relocates for another try.
Air ball.
Yo,
I mean, let's be honest here, Terry. You're better off faking an injury, because for you to play that poor, everybody has an off night. But you want to know what I see in like an off night? An off night is like nothing dropped. Everything was back rim. Everything was short. Everything I shot was right. Everything I shot today was left. Shit, anybody play ball. I've been there before. It's an off night. It's an off day, right? That doesn't constitute, your passes is bad. Your rebounds, you drop off your foot. You're throwing passes to yourself. You're playing back on defense. You're not getting back on defense. You're not hustling. You're off and you're calling, and you're still taking the same. You know how they say, find a way to impact the game somewhere else. Like, here I am missing all my 3-point shots, and I am a shooter. So now let me go ahead and try to like just rebound or assist for the rest of the night. Like get my other teammates involved. This is on the team at a time where he's getting a majority of the touches, obviously. He's not on the fucking court with LeBron or no shit like that. He's getting the touches. So he didn't even change his game plan or nothing. There's so many reasons why when you watch this game, they investigated his stupid ass. He did a horrible job. And fast forward, you didn't learn your lesson, or maybe this is just part of their indictment. But for you to do anything even after this, the NBA knew about you with this. It's just fucking dumb as fuck. You got to be with Shaq when Shaq says it's embarrassing. You guys are idiots. All right, I got LeBron in the thumbnail. LeBron James was reportedly used by Damon Jones to get inside info on whether he would play on the NBA game, and Jones then sold that info to others to bet on the opposing team. I can leave that like I did before. Like, how do you stop that? Or how do you decipher between just a harmless, yeah, man, I ain't playing versus like, yo, I'm not playing, go bet. To be continued on that. But the thing about LeBron's name coming into this is that you're not talking about a Terry Rozier game. Now, of course, tanking, and things of that nature. I bet, long shot bets. I bet they lose the next 10 games. Yeah, you can get some nice odds for that, right? You make some good money on something like that. But the names involved, you want to think on a normal betting day, you're not going to go too far with a Damon Jones or a Terry Rozier. You the these premier players that have the games that get televised and have these big attractions, big sales, big betting, big Vegas activity behind them. LeBron James is always getting bet on. He's getting bet on for stupid shit. Will he play the fourth game of the season? Will he throw the dust up in there? Like, he gets bet on for it's LeBron James. He's stupid shit. So for his name to get dragged into this, I would say the NBA protects him as the face of the league as much as possible. They go to hell and back over LeBron's image, because if he falls, they fall, as far as reputation and image, in a big way when you're talking about criminality and the feds. The fucking Damon Jones of the world, though, the Terry Roziers, you motherfuckers about to be sacrificial lambs. The NBA is going to cooperate and give the feds anything they need on you, motherfucker. I'm telling you. All right. Speaking of LeBron, no, let's continue. They playing people. Look at this one. All the signs were there. So Gilbert, Damon Jones, and these folks entered the chat once again. One of them is already in a past shit, Gilbert Arenas, right? This year that he's already in the midst of fighting. Look at this.
You got 2 free throws, and LeBron comes by and taps you on the chest and whispers something to you. What did he tell you?
He said, if you miss these free throws, you know who's going to win it. What makes it worse, because we gamble at LeBron's house, me, Damon Jones, that was our group. So Damon Jones is horrible at cards. He owed me money. Every time we played them, I always used to scream out, the landlord's here. The landlord needs his rent money. So he doesn't even play in game 6. So when he whispers, you know who's gonna hit it, everybody assumed it was him. I knew what he was talking about. I was balling that game, just hit the 3 to get us in overtime. And then I see Damon Jones in there stretching, and they really put the man in. And the fact that LeBron even passed him the ball is what hurt the most.
Damon Jones, who hadn't played.
Fucking Damon Jones. Damon Jones, LeBron, Gilbert. Mixing you guys together. And Gilbert, of all people, what he's got going on talking about shit like this is just, wow. Speaking of Gilbert now, all right. Let's focus in on him. Is he aiding the feds in all of this?
When you put the pieces together in this gambling FBI case, all signs point to one man. Let's take it all the way back to August. Gilbert Arenas said, I ain't going back to the slammer because I'm snitching. Now, what is he referring to? Well, he was indicted on 3 federal charges: renting out his house for and helping arrange an illegal poker gaming racket. Well, Chauncey Billups was just arrested today due to an illegal poker operation. Now, what was going on at this operation is absolutely insane. X-ray machines built into the table to read face-down cards, contact lenses and glasses that read pre-marked cards, and secret cameras in card trays. Now, how would the feds know about such intricate details that were going on at this illegal poker operation? Now let's go to the next layer. Damon Jones was arrested because he was telling people inside info when LeBron was not going to play. Now listen to this video of Gilbert Arenas talking about Damon Jones and LeBron.
Because we gambled at LeBron's house, me, Damon Jones, that was our group. So Damon Jones is horrible at cards.
All right, so Gilbert Arenas was very close with Damon Jones and LeBron. So how do you think it was discovered that Damon Jones was doing these things? I feel like based on everything I showed you, it's pretty obvious. When you put the pieces together in this gambling FBI...
Hey, many would say, many people would say, our GOAT, well, my GOAT, Michael Jordan, when he stepped away and he went to playing baseball, many would say it was because of a big gambling situation and the NBA needed to have him go take a hiatus. Many say that. Gambling has always been a big thing for the NBA. They just got to figure out how to keep the shit under control. All right. Speaking of Gilbert, though, we're not done with Gilbert.
Look, I'm good for all the trolling. That's cool, but Rachel Nichols is foul.
What did Rachel Nichols do good?
She used my video and she actually wrote that I possibly snitched.
Oh, no, Rachel.
Listen, I'm gonna troll with the best of them. But to ask that question,
no, she didn't do that.
Because then it makes me really want to, first of all, 2 of them is gambling on NBA. One is throwing poker games and robbing his friends. Ain't got shit to do with me.
Friends.
I'm gonna tell on this. Wow, I'm gonna tell on him. You know what I mean? My case is all a whole bunch of Igors, and Igors, right? And I don't like this. What's going on? I see the word mafia,
Yeah.
but the only faces I see is Negroes.
Yeah. Not Crenshaw Mafia.
NBA. You know what I mean? It's NBA. Like, wait a minute, hold on, man. Like, what's going on here? What y'all going? What the NBA do?
I'm not going there because once again, I said 30 people have been swept up, and we don't have those names in front of us. Okay, the Chauncey Billups and the Terry Roziers, those are the spectacle, those are the celebrities. So I think it could even be tactical of these people being like face fronted like this as far as the feds. Very possible.
Do to y'all,
Brother polite. Brother.
I had to think about it. It's mafia, but it's just local. Just
You've
local
been
black.
around Brother Knowledge. You've been
Just
around
local
Brother.
black.
Been around Brother
The
Knowledge.
international crime bosses, blacks.
Right.
Okay.
You need a face. They don't got jumpers. You need a face. You need a
They don't got jumpers.
None of them got covered.
Nah, I think what went over their head is the point that I just made, possibly, and we'll see when those 30 people plus are revealed. Closing out Gilbert Arenas, they say he posted this yesterday. Got that informant lunch special this morning. Agent Zero. I mean, Gilbert Arenas and others arrested for allegedly running. This is when he got grabbed up. And everybody knows when he got out what he was saying. He was doing streams saying, I'm snitching. You know, very, very proud, very, very out there. He pulled a 6ix9ine with it, like, yep, that's what I'm on. And we don't need to. That's when he got grabbed up in it. We don't need that. But he allegedly tweeted this yesterday, right? I don't know. This is the last piece of it, people. We keep talking about the mafia element, so I wanted to round it out there. Ex-mobster Michael Franzese blames NBA's gambling platform. Ships for arrest. Can't give people access like that. Let's see what he's talking about.
How do you get players who are making millions in some cases to get involved in something like this?
You know, I don't think you understand the level of gambling among professional athletes, even college athletes. And I've been doing this for 30 years since they recruited me. All the leagues recruited me out of prison, you know, back in 1994, because they knew they were having such a problem. And I had a number of bookmakers working for me. The FBI filled them in on that. So they chose me to come and speak to the players and try to dissuade them from getting involved with organized crime. You don't realize, you know, gambling is an extension of their competitive nature. It raises the stakes in the competition. These guys get themselves in so much trouble. Doesn't matter how much money they make. And, you know, let me use Michael Jordan as an example. There was a time when I said Michael had a real gambling problem because he gambles on everything. And I've witnessed it in certain
Everybody
cases
knows
when I
that.
was working with the NBA. But, you know, he came out in that.
What does he mean when he says when I was working with the NBA? What does he mean when he says that? Ironically, we used him when we was talking about Omerta 2 weeks ago, right? This ex-mafia captain boss. And I said, ironically, he's got a YouTube channel where he's just talking about the past and so much shit now, breaking Omerta. And he's got over 1 million subscribers on his channel. Look behind him. He's got his gold plaque and his silver YouTube plaque. But what does he mean when he says, when I worked with the NBA? What does he mean by that?
Thing that he did, the documentary on him, and he said, you know, I don't have a gambling problem. I have a competition problem. I'm not shocked what I see with Chauncey Billups. I'm not shocked with that player that, you know, gave some information. I'm going to come out early in a game, and this way you can bet the under on me, and we'll split it up afterwards. I mean, this happens all the time. It hasn't changed over the past 30 years.
Do these players know they're dealing with organized crime, or are the
they're
organized
intermediaries?
criminals
Both
smart enough to kind of disguise that?
Both.
And that the players never really know they're dealing with the mafia.
No, they know it. But look, you got to see guys in that life, they're smooth. You know, you're in trouble. You come to me, you know, at the time, say, look, I want to help you out. I don't want to hurt you. I'm never going to put you in trouble. I'm not going to tell on you. You know who I am. Let's do this together. I'll make some money from you. I'll make some money for you. You make some money for me.
But now the guy's got to come up with police money every week. Got a problem with the deliver? Fuck you, pay me. Got a problem with the order? Fuck you, pay me. Again, good fellas.
The more access you have to gambling, the more people are going to get involved in it, and the more people are going to get in trouble. There's no
Right. Think about all these videos we see now, people with the betting now, to the point where we just joke about it. Like somebody got all the way down to the last leg of their bet, and somebody missed a free throw and blew his $20,000 opportunity. A lot of people are turning to it as new ways for like one of their primary hustles because the accessibility of it is crazy. I'm from the time when we gambled for fun, we got to go take a couple hours on the road and go drive the AC. These apps now and the way that certain places are getting legalized. What comes with anytime you find a place with money, you're gonna follow it with corruption. That's just the world that we live in. The NBA is supposed to be exempt from that. No, it's been that for these just now seeing a big scenario go public with the feds.
Question about it. The leagues now have basically adopted gambling. They're saying, hey, it's okay. You can gamble. And you can't give people access like that.
All right, the access
Most
is
does
a
help
thing.
me.
I mean, I don't know what else to tell you guys behind this shit. Thank you, y'all. Thank you. But it's going to sprawl. Like I said, I'm very interested in the first 30 people that have been arrested. I'm interested to see how many people continue to come in. I'm interested to see the names that get said. If they further analyze, like you don't know if the feds care that much about some of the tentacles of it. Maybe they got a focused effort. But are they focusing going after the NBA to the point where they want to expose other potential big bets that came in? Like let's say it's a Las Vegas where people were getting millions of dollars of payouts because somebody didn't play that night and they were injured, and they want to start tying that into names that they're getting in this investigation if they haven't already got the names. I'm interested for the sprawl because it could be extremely damaging to the, like right now I see this shit and I'm just like, if Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups and Jones are your attacking points from the NBA standpoint, goodbye. NBA is going to say, hey, we got full cooperation. Goodbye. Have a good day. It is what it is. Yeah, Chauncey Billups is very respected. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a champion. He's a coach. But, he's not Phil Jackson. He's not Steve Kerr to these motherfuckers right now. He's not Tyronn Lue to them right now, right? I'm just saying. But if you start to hear more about the LeBrons and LeBron's not exempt. Jordan went through it. And LeBron's name is already getting dragged in this. So I hear big superstar names. And they're going to be forced to change their policies around protecting bet-worthy information. How you do that, I'm interested to see. I think it's impossible. Just too many people have in that locker room or in them facilities or part of the organization that have access to the information. It's just too many. It could just be quick hearsay, and then somebody goes and takes that and places a bet. You just can't stop it. You just got to find a way to curtail it as much as possible and stay the fuck out the headlines. That's really all you can do. But now, Jen, the headlines, we're here for it. All right. So shout out to y'all. Completely opposite from yesterday's stream. We're closing down now on an hour and 45 minutes because we spent a bunch of time watching some of that Julio footage. And I tried to do as much due diligence for y'all as possible with this NBA topic. I literally strung all that together in about 25 minutes before the stream cut on this morning. I was paying attention to it yesterday. I was bullet pointing some of it. And I was just like, man, we want to make sure that we try to touch each piece, Gilbert, LeBron, Jones, Billups, Rozier, and even the mafia element. The feds themselves are saying La Costa Nostra. So I try to cover all those bases for y'all. But to be continued. Happy Friday, everybody. In the meantime, let me jump over here to these supers real quick. Hi, I'm Wavy. Jumped in at 6 a.m. on the dot, became a member. Did you receive a membership or did you become a member? I didn't see a membership given before this. So you might have just become a member on your own. Welcome to Gang Green. It's a secret society. All we ask for is trust around here. Salute to you, homie. Welcome. Craig OG says, Michael Franzese broke down Al Sharpton's ties with the mafia as well as sports gambling on his channel. Interesting. I'm now following and watching more and more of his content. I've watched him before, like in years prior, knowing that he was coming out and talking about the mafia in previous years. But I think he was on Vlad before and all that, yeah. But if he's got this video about Al Sharpton on his channel, I might spin the block and go watch that. Interesting. Al Sharpton, man. Wow. You hear it and you're like shocked, and then you let it settle in, and then you're not shocked, right? It's Al Sharpton. It is what it is. Shout out to Mr. Fan First. Says finally caught alive. Condo on time. LOL. 5-hour drive to Frostburg ahead of me. Everyone be safe this weekend. Appreciate you for being able to make it to the 6 a.m. crew. That's Monday through Friday. Of course, we're here in the mornings as well, Saturday and Sunday, but there's no lockdown time. But yeah, to make it 6 a.m. is always dope. Shout out to you, or along the way. Shout out to you, and drive safe, homie. Misha's here says, Mizzy Good's a clown. I put money behind my words. Oh, who's Mizzy Good? What y'all got going on in the chat? I don't know. I'll catch up with y'all, maybe checks and balances and see what's going on with that. But shout out to y'all. Leak 1K. Appreciate the super homie. Who you got in your default there? Dallas? You have a reason to stand tall right now. Let's see how the year pans out for you. But yeah, I got a reason to stand tall right now. Jay with the super chat. She put a big 6 in there. Thank you, love. I appreciate you as always. That came in at 712. Thank you, love. Ethan, our members here for 25 months. 25-month OG member says they saying Gil told on everybody. Everybody. Well, you see, I brought him in. I mean, it's possible. I don't care what he says, man. I already thought he was kind of a clown for the way that he handled his wrestling. He came out, he was talking, because he did that stream behind like a green screen. We covered it, and he's just talking so goofy and stupid behind his arrest. I was just like, I asked the chat, I was like, I don't follow his podcast like that. Like, is he goofy? Like, does he do that? Is he always like this? Is this type of person? Like, I don't know. I don't put that past him at all. And he tells you that's what he's on. So, you know, his tie-ins and name alongside this shit right here is going to remain until it's closed out. All right. Like I said, happy Friday. Let's get to it. 7:45 right now. And will we be back today, later on this afternoon? I don't have Winged asking me to do any face-offs for her today, so maybe not, but we'll see. Keep an eye out. Worst case scenario, I will see y'all bright and early in the morning. Other than that, be safe. Enjoy the day. We out.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
Without, I think still got a gun.